stuck in life, you should aspire for more. Connect with others who desire to aspire for more. Reach for your goals. When you do, you allow yourself to aspire for more. Dr. Tammy is here to help you aspire for more. Aspire for more.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Journey Toward More, where we discuss topics to help you manifest more. Manifest more of what is for you, more of what you deserve, more of what is aligned with who you are, more of what honors you on your journey toward more. I am your host, Dr. Tammy, the Catalyst, life strategist, literacy educator and consultant, author and speaker. And today our topic is more than a game. And so I will warn you about this episode is that I have content, just so you know. However, it may seem a bit disconnected because I will say that there's several lessons that I want to share with you, several things that I want to share with you today. And it's hard to organize it in a way, or it has been hard for me to organize it in a way that really is, I guess, just straight to the point and succinct. So grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your water, have a seat. If you're driving, just get comfortable with your ride, because this episode is filled with lessons on how I approached a particular challenge this past week. And in that, how it was more of a lesson of love and what it means to be a mother. But of course, I must tell you how I got there and the lessons that I learned in addition to those. So this is really going to be a rich discussion, and I really would love to hear your feedback. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, definitely drop a comment in the comments on this video, this post. If you are on one of the other platforms, iTunes, SoundCloud, or Spotify, definitely share there as well in the comments. If any of it resonates with you and or you connect with any of it, because that'll help me out. Because this one, I debated whether I should do it in several episodes or all in one. I couldn't decide, and I realized it is what it is. And it was more than a game. So what do I mean by that? So let me just tell you that I coached my first football game. And let me add to that one, I don't necessarily watch the sport from beginning to end and try to learn it. I know enough to scream, yell, and have fun. I don't know all the rules and technicalities of it. That's not something I would choose to watch or participate in without there being some other type of motivation to push me into that arena. So I was really out of my element. So I want to tell you how I came to coach a football game. And needless to say, it wasn't just one, it was two. So that is in itself something that I've never coached before, a football game. I've coached a lot of things, people, life strategy, living on purpose. That's what I do with the playbook. If you have gotten your copy off of Amazon, look up Manifesting More. Dr. Tammy Francis Donaldson, and check it out. That's what I do, right? So this kind of coaching, I don't necessarily do that. So it was really interesting. So the boys coach had a scheduling conflict, and so needed a backup coach. Well, didn't really have one, and asked several people, friends, maybe some parents, cousins, siblings of those on the team, and they no one came through. So the game was on Saturday, and on Tuesday no one responded. You know how people, you text and they text back right away, and then all of a sudden when you ask that one thing that may be a little, either they don't want to answer it, or it's just a little out of their comfort zone. They just choose not to respond because they like, well, no news is good news. If I say nothing, there is nothing that ends the discussion, right? That's kind of how it was. Crickets. Can you say crickets? Crickets. It was quiet. So Wednesday, I am, talking with my son, and I'm, letting him know, like, hey, if y'all don't get a coach, it's going to be a forfeit. Right? It's going to be, you're going to have to forfeit, which it counts as a loss. And it was their last game. And then if they won that game, they would go to the championship. So I'm like looking at his face, and I'm realizing that he is really looking at me. And that look your children give you, my oldest, just a little bit about him. He's like my athlete. Like, he's a true athlete. Like, he hates to lose and to forfeit even. Like, really? Like, that's like a loss. Like, that's unacceptable. Like, to even, not even attempt a game, to not even attempt what you're going to do and have to just say you lost without even trying. Like, that's not acceptable. So that's how he is. So he gave me those little eyes where he's like, really, Mom? Like, Mom, do something. Like, Mom, you gotta do something. Mom, do you know anybody? Like, he gave me those eyes where I'm thinking, I'm not doing it, and I don't know anybody. And that was kind of my thing when he gave me that. But in the same vein, I was thinking, they really just need someone on the field so they don't have to forfeit. They just need a body, a warm body. Yeah, that's what I thought, right? So that's what I'm thinking. So on Wednesday, the Wednesday before the game on Saturday, I say, we're sitting there talking, and he comes and sits down, and he says, Mom, we don't have a coach still, so we're going to lose, which means our season is over. And I'm thinking, oh, don't give me those eyes. Like, don't give me those eyes. I don't want to see those puppy eyes. Like, don't do that to Mama. And as he was sitting there, I thought, you can do this. One thing I know is that sometimes things scare you so, and you're so out of your element, you probably shouldn't, but when something pulls on your heartstrings, it changes the game. It changes the game. And so at that moment, I realized that it was more than a game. That this moment for me and him was more than a game. So what did I do? I contacted the coach and said, I'm in. I agreed to it. Reluctantly. That's what I'm telling y'all. For him, I just agreed to it. But for you, reluctantly, I agreed to it. And this was Wednesday. The game is Saturday. I'm reminding you, I know nothing, nada, zero about the game. Nothing. So that meant Thursday, I would need to, Wednesday night or Thursday, sometime between that, because Friday was already filled and had an agenda. So that means Wednesday night or Thursday, I had to learn this game. So took 30 minutes, sat down with the coach, had a little mini coaching clinic, went over the plays, went over the rules. In this time, y'all, like, really, like, think about this. I know nothing about the game. So in this time, I'm having to learn hooks and flares and different plays, names they have for plays, the M Romeo spot, the Mayday play. I'm having to learn defense, man versus zone. I'm having to learn the rules. What is the mercy rule? When do I call this play versus that play? What is this play? And what's a Z spot, a C, and who's the one? What is the one? Like, I'm having to learn all of this in like 30 minutes. All of that in 30 minutes. And even still in that moment, I'm thinking, what have you just agreed to? What are you doing? And on cue, like literally on cue, my son comes in and he sits down and he gives me this look as I'm going through this and I'm asking questions. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to learn it. He gives me this look like, it's kind of a sort of smile, but not really, because he gives me this look like, we got a coach. But in the same look, like almost connected and simultaneously, he has that, oh no, mom is our coach. And the same thing, like, yay, but no. And so he gives me that look and I'm like, it's me or no one. So, needless to say, made it to the game. I had so many obstacles on Saturday. I hosted a Twitter chat and trying to get my youngest son to his practice for his play and then back to the game so he can play with us in the game. I'm doing all of this and trying to make it to the game with some sanity and remember all the things I learned in 30 minutes. So we get there, we play. And let me just be honest, like, I'm leaving a lot out. So I know this. Because if you only knew what was going on between 10 and 1:15 p.m. and the game started at 1:30, you would probably send me a bottle of wine just because it was crazy. But we get there and we're there. I'm down 2 players. We have 5. It's flag football. So let me just say this. It's flag football. So there's 7 players. It's a small team. It doesn't have to be large, but you need at least 5 to play. And the 5 show up, thank goodness, because we were down 2 because of other conflicts. So then my son is looking at me like, Mom. Like, at first he was like, yeah, we're going to win. Then he's like, he saw me. He knew that I was coaching. He saw how nervous I was. And he said, I hope we win. He kind of shifted. And I looked at him and I said, if I'm coaching this game, if I'm coaching something I know nothing about, if I'm coaching something that I don't really care for, if I'm coaching and I am here today, and if you show up, I'm going to show up and we're going to win. So I joked around and I say, if you play, I'll pray. Because I knew that's what I needed in this moment, because I had 30 minutes to learn football, flag football. So needless to say, we played the game. The players, man, they showed up. I don't know if they were just playing extra hard for me or what, but it was good. I'm grateful. Good game. After our first time on offense, I figured out how this works. I'm good. Once we did it one round, offense, defense, I'm good. I got it. I know the plays. I get it. I got it. The rules. I got the no pass, no run, right? I got all that. So I am happy to say that we won that game. We won it. Oh, y'all. But the thing is, I couldn't be excited because we had another game. Because that meant now we got to play a second game. We got to play for the championship. We won that game, the last game of the season. Now we got to play the championship. So I was like, oh, here we go. So that game starts. Now this game, this team was a little more challenging. Of course, it's a championship, right? It's supposed to be. This coach is like the football guru himself, and so he knows all the rules. He knows everything. Probably watches the sport, not to be stereotypical, but probably watches it regularly, even the NFL, right? He knows it. I don't. I just know enough to play today, and I know what's on my play card. I got that. I got some of the rules from the rule book. I read it. But this is not I'm out of my lane. I'm a fish out of water. This is not my thing. So he got me on some technicalities because he knows the rules. So I was like, we just got to beat him. We just got to be up. Now, toward the end of the game, it was touch and go, but we won. We won the championship. Initially, I was like, whew, goodness. And then, y'all, I cried like a baby on the field. Okay, nobody knew I cried because I kind of just stayed by myself and turned around. But I had to take a moment. I was so happy that I didn't mess things up, right? And so we went through all that. They did all their championship stuff. But once I got home, I was able to sit down and reflect. And in that moment, I realized that it's more than a game. It's more than a game. It was definitely challenging for me. It was a challenge on multiple levels. Knowing the game, being, out of my element, like doing something for the first time without even having practice with them. Like I didn't even practice with them. But I also know that challenges are something new and difficult. And challenges require us to really put in great effort and to have determination. Challenges can also shift our perspective in life. Challenges help us learn more about ourselves and become more self-aware. They allow us to be more peaceful and powerful. And so although, as I was sitting down and reflecting on what a challenge is, like it's something new and difficult. Like this is new and it was difficult. Like even though I must say, y'all, I had fun because I always have fun. Like whatever I do, that's a goal. That's like number one goal, fun, and then figure everything else out. So I had fun, and I'm probably won't ever do it again. But I will say that it taught me something about, one, how to face a challenge. And I'd like to share those with you. So that's kind of this first segment of this episode is, how do you face a challenge? Sometimes you just have to, number one, is just accept it and embrace it. Just accept it and embrace it. Be present and deal with life. So if you're facing a challenge in some other area of your life, a relationship, a job or career, whatever it is, you must deal with life. You must deal with it. You must take it as it comes. Don't fight it. Just take it as it comes, the good and the bad. So I had to be okay with, we may play this game, these games in the end, and lose. But is it better to have lost and never tried at all? Absolutely not. You definitely want to give it a try. You definitely want to give it a whirl. But you must be present. And I realized in that moment, facing that, doing that, I had to be present in that moment and just embrace what life has given me. The second thing that I realized is that I had to take my time. Several times I had to just take it down a notch because I can get a little bit high-strung, to say the least. But to don't rush the process. Don't be in a hurry. To just be patient because it will unfold as it will. And if you just trust yourself and take your time in that moment, it can help you through it. Also, recognize the good in the situation. I had to recognize that, to do that and to commit to that and to do something so out of my element, that there was the good in it. That one, I was learning something that I probably need to know, being a mom of boys. And two, how it was so meaningful to the boys. Right? And how our thoughts and our attitudes can shape that process. And if we approach it with a positive attitude, if you approach a challenge with a positive attitude, how only positivity can come from that. Even if it's not successful, there's something positive that's there for you to learn about the situation or yourself. Moreover, accept success and failure. It's a learning process. It may not happen the way you think or envision, because I envisioned that we would just win by default and I wouldn't have to coach. Didn't happen that way. I had to coach the whole game. I had to realize the plays, and I realized the players needed me to know, because they were asking, what am I doing? And experience is a good teacher. And so when you have experiences and you have lived experiences, it's a good teacher. It teaches you something. But you must also allow time to reflect on those wins and losses. You must take time to reflect and gather that. And when you're in the middle of a challenge, sometimes we skip that part. And we don't do that. We don't reflect. We don't take time. We don't appreciate the process. But we must. And the last thing I'll share with you about facing a challenge, how to face a challenge, is sometimes you must focus on and invest in the relationship that's attached to it. Sometimes there is this relationship that is more important than you being upset about the challenge, about you resisting the challenge. It's just going through it. Love is very dynamic. And sometimes you just have to take a step back and choose that. Commit to it. Do what you can and put in the work, the hard work. It's not easy, but focus on those relationships. And that's what I had to do in this situation. Even as I was telling the story, I hope there was, a few nuggets within the story. I know it took me a minute to get through it, but I learned something about myself. I had to just face it head on and just do it and enjoy the process and know that it was also an impact on my relationship with my children and how they will navigate the world in their relationships. So segment 2, part 2 of this, is what I learned as a mother. Children, especially, I think especially boys, when it comes to moms, is deeply affected by their relationship with their mother. And that relationship can help them or hurt them. Their relationship with their mother is a gift of well-being, emotional well-being. And, it taught them something about family too. Like, family is there for you when you need them. And had he not asked me, I may not have even considered it. But looking in his eyes and him asking me, I was thinking, okay, that's what we do as moms, right? We sacrifice, and it's selfless, it's enduring, and it's unconditional. So sometimes you have to do those things which, the unthinkable. The unthinkable. So I guess if I had to sum all this up into what I learned about it being more than a game is that challenges are the catalyst that pushes us in that direction toward more. Challenges are the catalyst for changing our course toward more. And in that, challenges shift our perspective on things. And it really shifted the perspective on my relationship and how I saw my relationship with the boys and how important it was for me to do it. Challenges allow us to be more powerful. I can't tell you how, even though it was for them, how amazing it felt to know that I stepped up, I did it, and I was successful. So, all that to say that you are powerful even when you're facing challenges, and you must acknowledge your wins, not just the losses, not just the things that you don't think you're good at and that are noble, but you must also, where did I do well in this situation? How did I do well in this situation? How did I show up? Show up great. No matter what. Show up great. And the ultimate lesson I think I learned is that a mother's love is selfless, enduring, and unconditional. It will have you doing the unthinkable. So I guess this episode is really for a little bit for everyone. For those of you that just need encouragement as you face challenges, to just stay in the game, because it's more than a game. There's more to that. That is setting you up for your next. That is setting you up for what is for you. Sometimes we face challenges that seem to knock the breath out of us. And it may be a challenge that really knocks you off your feet. But even when you feel like your chest will cave in or your mind is overwhelmed because you have so much going on and thinking about, you must push through and gather the lessons along the way. Challenges are the catalyst for changing our course toward more. So hang in there, because this game called life is more than a game. It's going to be what you leave behind. It's going to be your legacy. And how you deal with it, how you approach it, how you navigate it, it's going to be remembered. It's going to linger. So hang in there, stay strong, and know that this is your opportunity to prepare for what's next on your journey toward more. It's an opportunity for you to realize and reflect on your power, because that will help set you up for more. It's more than a game. So don't just think of it as a game. What other lessons are there? What was a recent challenge you encountered? What did you learn from that recent challenge or obstacle? What's next for you? Do you know? Have you set goals for this week, this month, this quarter? Which path is highlighted for you and only you? Sometimes you think that you're doing something for one reason, but when you realized it's for more than that. It's more than a game. It's more than a game. What are you manifesting more of this week? Because whatever you desire, just know that challenges will come. But those challenges are catalysts for changing our course toward more. It's more than a game. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Journey Toward More. I appreciate you taking the time to listen, share, like, and comment. Thank you for allowing me to share this story that is so convoluted that it was really hard to pinpoint how I wanted to share it with you. But I hope that you got, there's two components. How do you face a challenge? And then those of you that are parents or in relationships where you really are committed and love the person, whether it's a parent, child, a friend, partner, spouse, whatever it is, that you know that there's power in that unconditional love. There's power in a mother's love. There's power in just love. Love is dynamic. And when you have challenges, you should expect something new and difficult. You're gonna have to put in some effort. You're going to have to think about, reflect on, how are you changing in this process? Allow the challenge to show you how powerful you are, which will shift your perspective in life. Take care. Enjoy your week. I hope you will join me for another episode and listen to some of the previous episodes. You can find this podcast on my YouTube channel. So if you're listening to this on YouTube, definitely subscribe to my channel, like, and comment. You can also find this on Spotify, SoundCloud, and iTunes. Download it and share it out. I appreciate you. This has been a very interesting week, and that was only one challenge. So maybe another episode I'll tell you about some of the other challenges. But for now, be sure that you follow me on social media. On all social media platforms, I am Dr. Tammy Francis. It's my handle. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, Twitter, and even Snapchat. I've been snapping a lot more lately, so this is interesting. So follow me. Grab your copy of Manifesting More, a playbook for living and planning on purpose. It is at tfdonaldson.com/books, or you can grab it online at Amazon or Barnes & Noble or any of the online distributors. Definitely check that out. And my YouTube channel, follow me there. I have a goal this quarter to reach 100 subscribers. So if you're watching this years down the road and I'm past that, know that when this episode was recorded, I am not there yet. But definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dr. Tammy Francis, as well. Turn on the notifications. Make sure you give me a thumbs up on the videos you find helpful, useful, and share it out. Share it with those that could benefit from hearing it. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you listening to me. I am your host, Dr. Tammy Francis, and I hope you will join me again. Take care. Enjoy your week. Bye.
Stuck in life, you should aspire for more. Connect with others who desire to aspire for more. Reach for your goals. When you do, you allow yourself to aspire for more. Dr. Tammy is here to help you aspire for more. When you believe in yourself, anything is possible. Believe in yourself, you'll get more. You should aspire for more. Aspire for more. You should aspire for more.